Hey everybody, this is a complex subject with a lot of moving parts to it, so I want to do my best to explain this concisely, but then also give it as thorough of an explanation as it deserves. So for me, I think the best place to start is here and looking at slime mold. And so what we're looking at here is a scientific experiment that caught my eye, I think about a year ago. And essentially it's started off scientists, they start off with a singular like slime mold, like a singular spore, and then essentially created protein structures, and then these little like big globules that you're looking at are these protein structure strains that are like wrapping themselves around its oatmeal. And then so the slime mold essentially started off as one little slime mold, and then it spread itself out into this intricate structure to go after the oatmeals. And then you can utilize and make these slime structures into very intricate patterns. Like for example, uh, reproducing or even re-engineering a subway system, for example. It will give you what is like the most intricate path. Like if you want to know the best way to design an intricate subway system with multiple like branching leaves and branching paths that all come together at a centralized point, then utilizing slime mold will get you any better, like better results than anything else that you could do. And then so, like, why am I talking about slime mold here and starting here? Uh, the big reason for that is so there's different and differing theories as to how exactly thought comes about and thought is generated. And then so looking at this slime mold, there's and utilizing this slime mold, there's one theory of thought that around thought that thought is essentially a scale that it scales up. That what this slime mold is doing is like an essence of thought. It's ordered and orderly and efficient pattern, like the most orderly and efficient pattern that you could possibly create, and it will do it every single time. Uh, and so that order is in so could be considered like the essence of thought. And so from there, you could scale up thought, and then scale up the like complexity of thought, and you could essentially like build upon it with building blocks. And then like this is an important concept to everything that we're going to go into and dive into, because if you don't think that like this is the correct path forward for like thinking models and like getting towards like AGI, then all of this really goes out the window for you because it's all of what we're going to dive into is based off of this concept. So how does this relate to AI and what we're going to dive into? So what we're looking at here is what's called a mixture of experts model architecture. And then this is the architecture that like ChatGPT-4 is very specifically based off of, for example. And so looking at one of these, just it's a really simple, simplistic architecture to diagram out because you just have multiple experts and then like a gating network, so like they can like what's the decision that's made, like who, you know, like regulating differences between the experts, etc. And then those all funnel together and then formulate an opinion, and then that is then produced as a final like individual output. And then so within the model of experts model, like the logic, part of the logic within that is that again, like that thought is kind of this building block process, and then so you connect multiple individual pieces of thought together, like for like expert one, expert two, and expert three, and then that combination produces more thought than expert one would and expert two would and expert three would on their own, and that you get benefits from the combinations itself. And any model that is built off of this architecture kind of takes that into mind and into approach. And then so this leads us to the main subject of this particular video, which is BitTensor. And so coming at this up front, I never got into the Bitcoin revolution, the like anything related to crypto, anything like that. So that's my background coming into this. I do have an understanding of a general understanding of how cryptocurrency works, how like cryptocurrency markets work, the IT aspects of it. I have general like knowledge of, but I never got into. I've never owned Bitcoin, never gotten into it. So I never got into that frenzy. So. That's my angle coming at this up front. And then so I think up front, if people are coming at this from my same level of knowledge and on that front, they might dismiss what exactly this is up front because of that. Like it might just be like, oh, it's Bitcoin for AI, essentially. But the if so before making this video, I've read through the entire white paper. I've read for hours on this particular model, what they're doing, making sure that I fully digest it. So essentially, to describe this at its core, what BitTensor is a cryptocurrency marketplace, and the goal of the cryptocurrency marketplace is that you develop an artificial intelligence model. So they have a model, LLM model. It's called HAL. Currently, HAL is being built out, and then it's a social bot, so you can connect it to Discord, to Twitter, Telegram, Mastodon, WhatsApp, etc. And then so with HAL, it's like any other LLM model, and then you can utilize it, and then utilize it within these apps. And then so HAL is like at the center of this marketplace would be a good analogy for it. And then so if you want to participate in this marketplace, essentially what you're doing is you're improving the capabilities of HAL. And then so if you if you mine and you give compute and then you train HAL and then you make it better, then you get the cryptocurrency, like their coin in this instance, and like the individual coin. So it'd be like a Bitcoin for doing that. That's what you get rewarded for within your efforts. And then the how much your individual efforts contribute to HAL itself, and like the performance of HAL and the capabilities of HAL are that determines like the actual amount of currency that you get within this marketplace. And then so inversely, the value of this marketplace is also then tied to the value of HAL. And then so what the goal is, like what their goal and their logic is here, is that essentially when Bitcoin was created and formed, it created two things. It created Bitcoin, and then it also created this marketplace, and like this digital marketplace that exists, and this incentive-based marketplace that's essentially like capitalism in its purest form, but like the ultimate marketplace. Like you can design it out so that it's a foolproof marketplace that like no malicious actors can come in and manipulate the markets, etc., and that it's like completely fully distributed. And that's like the dream of like the cryptocurrency market. But so it's essentially applying that logic, but towards building out an AI model very specifically. And then so with that, the mixture of experts that we were looking at, and then where that comes in here is that's essentially how HAL gets expanded upon and built out, is via a mixture of experts. So if you contribute, let's say that you build out an LLM model and you're a researcher, and you're like, oh, this is an amazing model, but I don't have compute to host it. You can essentially host it on this marketplace. People then use it, interact with it. If it increases if people use it and they integrate it into HAL, and then it dramatically increases the capabilities of HAL, you're getting your incentive is that you get your LLM out. The people's incentive is they get to use it. It becomes a part of HAL. And then you also have a market incentive via the marketplace, because you get tokens from that, which then you can then use like on the digital marketplace. So that's kind of, I think, a good overall summation of what they're exactly trying to do with this. And then so the broader logic is, and like the reason why they're doing this, I think is really key. And then essentially, their logic is that if you look at the Bitcoin marketplace, the offshoot of that it's produced is that uh, like the Bitcoin marketplace itself, as far as compute power, is comparable to like Australia, for example, literally, as far as the amount of full compute that's behind it. And then, so if an LLM model or AI is built out utilizing like this same type of marketplace technology, then it's a essentially like a publicly available model that would be, in essence, if it took off, like the biggest LLM model that ever existed, the most powerful LLM model to exist, like without question. Uh, and that would be fully openly owned by everyone. And then so the this BitTensor was created very specifically by a former Google engineer who left Google and then founded the company that created BitTensor. And their logic is very specifically that they don't want companies like Google, Microsoft, big tech companies to be the sole owners of the most powerful AI on the planet, because absolute power corrupts absolutely. And then so then there's no way around that equation. And then so the other way around that equation is a fully open market AI that's built out and owned by everyone and like fully transparent in every way in that sense. That would be a more powerful AI model at the end of the day than any corporation could ever build to match. So it's kind of like interesting concept and ideal from that front. It brings up a lot of questions around a lot of things around it, but the concept itself is very interesting, and so I just wanted to do it justice, point it out here. It's bittensor.com to find out more. Look into this. It's all in beta right now, so the HAL is very in beta. BitTensor itself, the marketplace, is very in beta, but again, it's got a lot of backing, so this is going to take off. I don't know if it's going to. I think people's initial reactions to it again might be kind of what my initial reactions were, not knowing anything about like crypto or anything like that, and thinking like, oh, just the instance that you hear crypto within anything, it raises like a lot of like red flags and alarm bells. But when you dive into what BitTensor is, it's a very interesting concept because it's like this is the center place of the marketplace. It's a marketplace for AI, like to build out an AI model, and then they're not wrong in any of the logic that I can see, that it's all power, like the value of the market is the value of this model, and that it like utilizing a marketplace and a model with this, it would have the potential to be better and bigger than any corporation could ever build out. So if you like the model, check it out, and if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much.